We're back, and part of the development for the Picture Perfect Polish, which you could pick up and pre-order now, a lot of the feedback I've been getting and a lot of the comments is on what pad should I use, what pad is perfect for the Picture Perfect Polish, and what I've been doing, and part of the development process that I'm bringing you in on. And the next step of that is what pad, what system is gonna be best and ideal for the Picture Perfect Polish. So what I've been doing behind the scenes and what I'm bringing you in on today is the first kind of iteration on, I've been trying all these pads. I really want to narrow it down and to see which pads I should offer. Luckily for me, I know Richard over at Buff and Shine. I've had him on the podcast before, so if you want to go back, I've had Justin Labato on the podcast. We've talked at SEMA multiple times. We've talked about pads. We did the launch for the Oreo pad back in the day. And then Julio, who used to work for Buff and Shine, now works for Rupes. And so I've been getting samples and pads and meeting with both Buff and Shine and Rupes and getting pads from both of those companies to see which manufacturer I want to produce the JIMBO pad, right? And so I'm really trying to do the work for you so that I can give you a system. And that's one thing that I've really learned through developing this process personally is I need to offer a system. So it doesn't stop at just the liquid, it continues into the pads so that we have a framework to where you can get the best results. So that is what I'm doing. And so in this video, we're just gonna talk about pads and what I've been testing and what I've been finding and the differences of pads. Not going into the pad technology, I'll save that for the pros, but what I see as a professional detailer. And so, yeah, let's talk about some pads. So the hardest part was getting the liquid formula down. So now that we got that down and it works in a vast majority of situations, it came down to pad dependency. And when it comes down to pads, we have everything from wool pads, right? But we even have smaller wool pads. We have blended wool. We have the colored wool. This is a CSI pad, but manufactured by Buff and Shine. These are, I believe, this one's Buff and Shine. So we have wool pads for rotary, but even within wool pads, we have different types of wool, right? And then we have microfiber pads, right, for a DA. But even within microfiber pads, there's different foam thicknesses, there's different colors, there's different, the different foams will do different things, right? And so, but then we have foam pads, and even within the foam pads, there's different cuts to the edges of the foam pad. There's a white pad that may be Rupes that is a little bit more aggressive, but then there's a white pad from Buff and Shine, like this one, this Eurotech, and it feels a little bit different. And so there's a wool polishing pad for a DA from Rupes, and you can see this is their wool polishing pad, right? Thicker foam, higher wool, but it's a wool for a DA versus a wool for a rotary, right? And of course, Buff and Shine has their version of that as well, right? But you could see it could be, this would be a cutting wool pad, but you could see how much different the pads are per the brand, right? And so, again, this is an unbelievable amount of work because then you have foam finishing pads. This is Tom CSI, but again, manufactured by Buff and Shine. This is a foam, I believe this is his finishing. Yeah, finishing, it's squishy, right? You have a lot more squish to it, which traditionally makes it a finishing pad, but this is a finishing pad foam. But then you also have a finishing pad, right? A black microfiber, Eurofiber finishing pad from Buff and Shine. So you can finish with microfiber. And so, and then of course, my all-time favorite pad with my all-time favorite 3D1 was 3D1 with the Oreo pad, which is from Buff and Shine, right? Really like that combo. So the liquid is a little bit more pad dependent. And so what I've been really doing is like, what is the most ideal combination? Is it to go with a microfiber cutting pad? Because ultimately what I'm trying to accomplish is that you have one liquid, one pad that will do cutting and finishing. That is my goal. However, that's not always possible for every situation. So I recognize that I need to have probably at least a finishing pad. So what I'm kind of narrowing it down to is I want here's another foam pad that I think this is a medium cut foam pad, right? Kind of looks like Tom's finishing pad in a way, right? But it's a little thinner, I guess. And so, but it does two different things. This is finish, this is cut. And so I've been trying to narrow down I tried to get as many different buffing pads as I possibly could, and then I've begun to narrow it down. But we also have different clear coats. We have single stage paint. We have a lot of different variables. And so what I'm trying to do and what I've attempted to do, and I think I'm getting very, very close, and again, I will bring you guys in on all of that as we demo this across multiple cars, but I'm really trying to narrow it down to probably 3 different pads. We will have most likely a heavy cut, wool, old school, rotary. You're doing some aggressive sanding removal, right? But if you do this is not going to be a one-step pad. So if I offer a rotary and wool for those heavy-duty sanding removals, heavy-duty defect removal, I'm definitely going to have some sort of finishing pad, whether that's an offshoot of Tom's red pad or one of these white pads that I've been looking at from Rupes and Buff and Shine. So I know I'm going to have that spectrum, right? A heavy cut rotary wool finishing pad to remove any rotary marks. So I'm like, okay, I'm there. And then what I've been trying to figure out is where's my one-step pad? What is my one-step kind of middle of the road? One liquid, multiple pads is what I'm going after for the vast majority of situations. So while I think I have the full both ends of the spectrum, what I don't have is that right in the middle. So I'm really between like these microfiber cutting pads, but what happens is they mar a little bit. And so the pad mars. And so I'm not sure I want microfiber. And then I start going to foam like, So right now I'm in between foam and microfiber for that. But you could see I'm just trying to narrow it down. And all these different pads have different uses in different cases and can dictate the result that you get from one liquid. So it was important to get the liquid down first and then adjust the pad depending upon what situation and what the end result I was trying to get. Like our softer foams are going to be for finishing, and then our harder foams are going to be for cutting. And so that is pretty universal across the board. Wool is going to be more aggressive and cut more. Where it starts to get a little confusing is the DA wools. So this one is natural cutting, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know what that means, natural cutting, because also microfiber cuts a lot too. But to add to confusion, microfiber also finishes, right? We've covered that. So I think I've narrowed it down. Like I said, I have wool for rotary, and I may hold off on that. I think that rotary polishing is just a little bit advanced for people. I want to do some videos around rotary polishing with wool, but there is nothing that will cut faster than rotary with wool. And that's a whole nother thing too. I don't like to sit on a panel forever and buff and just brain rot, right? And so I'm looking for a pad that cuts quickly, finishes good for that one step, right? So I think I have my finishing pad set. What I'm really looking for is that one-step pad. I think I'm going to end up going foam. I'm really liking this burgundy. I also think the name of calling it, because I have to think about names, but if I call it the Ron, it would be the Ron Burgundy pad. Just saying. So I kind of like that for multiple reasons. But I think I am going to go with a foam for a one-step. I also did think if I went with a white finishing pad, I could call it the Walter. So then I have the Ron Burgundy and the Walter White pad. I like to have fun with this. This is all about having fun. The name is JIMBO. It has to be fun, right? It can't be overly technical and boring. So those are the two I'm looking at, burgundy and white. Definitely white probably for the finishing. Again, all that. So the purpose of this video has just been to let you in, of course, pull the curtain back, let you know, show you what I'm doing, but also to get feedback on what pads you like. So what is your favorite? I know a lot of people like the Euro foam or the Euro microfiber black and white. I love those as well, traditionally with 3D1. I'm finding that they're a little too aggressive for the picture perfect polish, and so they're not giving the finish I really want. So that's my initial feedback, but I'm interested, what are your favorite pads? Let me bring them in. Let me do a few videos on them. Let me show some side-by-sides. It does get very difficult because different clear coats and different cars, and you may get a really good result on this car, but not on that car. And so there's a lot of variables, but that's why I'm showing it. There's a lot of variables, and I'm okay with those variables, and I want to showcase those variables. So what is your favorite pad combo, or what pad would you like to see me demo with the Picture Perfect polish? I'd love to know in the comments below. And don't forget, the Picture Perfect polish is available for pre-sale. We're shooting for late April when those will start sending out, but it's available now. I don't want to run out of stock. I hate that. So I'm doing the pre-sale. That's just kind of what I've always done for my products. I want to know roughly gauge interest and all that. The pre-sale is going amazing. And so I'm also going to offer pads. We're going to put the Jimbo character on the back of here, so they will be, but honestly, in being transparent, I'm not going to make my own pads. I'm not a pad manufacturer. I'm just going to people who are already the pros with it. But again, they have a wide variety to choose from. I want to narrow it down and give you the best option that works the best, kind of create the Jimbo system, right? And so let me know what you think in the comments below, your favorite pad. Let's have a discussion. Let's continue to develop this, all being very transparent. It's what I really enjoy doing. So yeah, with that, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button so you can see the follow-up videos to this one, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.